dark where the secrets hide. Red, blue flags swaying side by side. The masters of the masquerade, Democrats in the twilight parade. Oh, they're so good at being evil. They rule the night like a primeval. Fangs out for freedom in the moonlight. Darkness falls and they take flight. They promise hope in shadows deep, whisper lies while the mortals sleep. With cunning smiles and eyes that gleam, Democrats crafting every scheme. Oh, they're so good at being evil. They rule the night like a primeval. Flames out for freedom in the moonlight. Darkness falls and they take flight. In the land of promises unkept, look who's laughing while we wept. Their power grows with each new dawn, while vampires dance on the lawn. Through the night they march with pride, leading masses with eyes open wide. Who knew the light could be so blinding, while in the dark they're redefined. Through the night they march with pride, leading masses with eyes open wide. Who knew the light could be so blinding, while in the dark they're redefined. They promise hope in being evil. They rule the night like a primeval. Flames out for freedom in the moonlight. Darkness falls and they take flight. In the land of promises unkept, look who's laughing while we wept. Their power grows with each new dawn, while vampires dance on the lawn. In the land of promises unkept, look who's laughing while we wept. Their power grows with each new dawn, while vampires dance on the lawn. In the land of promises unkept, look who's laughing while we wept. Their power grows with each new dawn, while vampires dance on the lawn.
Thank you for watching my first music video. I hope you enjoyed it. A special thanks to you Democrats and Liberals. My master is very pleased with you.
Hello everyone, it's the Madonna Nightshade, or at least my haunted puppet that I'm inhabiting. Yeah, those were the days. Yeah, I was always praising the Democrats for their evil. It was wonderful. Then I found out later on I was on some of their lists for people to hate. And I'm like, it's okay. Yeah, that was my very first music video that I made. So it was really fun trying to figure that out back then. And everybody's saying hi to everyone, that's wonderful. And then Lawrence says Hillary looks like vampire Catherine Deneuve in The Hunger. Deneuve. But oddly, it's Susan Sarandon who defeats her to steal Bowie's heart. Still, I think Susan was for Bernie. Yeah, she's a big, huge lib and commie. Yeah, you know what? One of those awful type of commies. A rich commie. Yeah, how does that happen, right? Who could hate you? Commies do. I'm praising him. I'm saying, how during the election it was so much fun. Cause I was there, I was telling him, yeah, I was cheering him on. Oh, I'm a proud Democrat voter. And yeah, go, yeah. The Dark Lord just loves you and all the work you guys are doing. Or tell him, whoa, abortion ban at your convention, maybe slow down a little. Really pissed him off, and then I'd always end any tweet I did was like, bringing hell on earth, one Democrat vote at a time. Yeah, I had that on my front page and everything, and no one had really got that, so I finally changed it, but I thought it was great. Saying, proud Democrat, evil vampire. Proud Democrat voter, evil vampire, bringing hell on earth, one Democrat vote at a time. Not too many people got that. I thought it was hilarious, but it's not much of a joke if you're the only one that gets it. So I had to tell myself to cut it out. Just because you think something's funny now doesn't mean everyone else does. So I guess it's like communication 101, right? It's not much of a joke if you're the only one that gets it. So you could be proud of yourself, but you could also be stupid. And saying, why doesn't anybody get what I'm saying? Poor me. So, let's see. And words said, I said I was classic 90s liberal to stop Antifa lynching me. Well, you should try being an evil vampire. And then congratulate them on everything you're doing. and how the Dark Lord just loves all the work they're doing. And you're going to have a great place in hell waiting for them. So keep it up. Yeah, I would tell Biden's press secretary there, Jean-Pierre, I would tell her that she's gonna be second in Hal's propaganda ministry along with Joseph Goebbels. Yeah, I go, you should be so proud of yourself. You really worked hard for us. So yeah, you're gonna be second in command when you finally leave this mortal coil, because you have to be careful how you say that. So it wasn't a threat. It was just that when it happens, you got a great place in hell. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She looked the part, didn't she? She'd make a wonderful voodoo queen. In fact, she should do she should have an online and 1-800 number for practicing Haitian voodoo. Yeah, she could be employed by Hillary Clinton, who truly is into Haitian voodoo. A lot of people don't realize that you read stories about it. It's true. She's big time. Her and Bill got married in Haiti. And then you remember with the earthquake back in around 2005, and they literally stole billions from those people. Just horrible, just monsters. What can you say? It's everything turns into a scam with these people. And the usher says hi. Well, hello, usher. Thank you for joining us. Please join in the chat and anything you got to say. There's not much to talk about today. I couldn't find too much in for the UK news, but we'll go ahead and talk about it later on. Of what I could see was that horrible post office software scandal. So I'll be asking you in the UK to explain that to me more. Doesn't that go back to like the 90s? We'll see here. But in the US, the big news, just like yesterday, is Alan says, is she still with Bill? Yeah, they're stuck together, right? Birds of a feather. So, yeah, they're with each other. Both thoroughly evil people. But, it's still the fallout from the Epstein case. That seems to be still the big story. And yeah, it's really discouraging, as everyone knows. And let's see, now even Trump is basically owning it, right? So let me put this. I'll put this here, and we'll play you this. So
Sure. Your memo and
let's see. Yeah,
release
there
yesterday with
goes.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Yeah, sure. If I
Okay,
could-
could I just interrupt? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel?
Yeah, it's really kind of discouraging and demoralizing here in the States, as you can imagine, because Trump ran on the fact that we were going to get all this information and that we're going to get some kind of justice out of it. So you can pretty much tell he's basically owning up and just saying we're moving on. Yeah, so yeah, it is very discouraging. So would anybody in the chat like to join in and their thoughts on it? So, like I said, it's obvious that he's owning up that he's the one, right? Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about it, Alan says. Yeah. Hello, Lady Pip. Wonderful to see you. Fantastic. Hi. Please join us. Like I was saying here, the big news is that basically Trump is owning up that they're just moving on from Jeffrey Epstein, right? Yeah. Maybe it's right now they can use resources elsewhere. Well, I don't care. The people involved in this are big time into why this whole government got corrupted in the first place, and the agencies involved and the people running them. So to me, it seems like it's very important, right? So, and the usher says unbelievable. Yeah, I know, isn't it? It's just very It would be one thing to say we know all about this, but right now, our resources, I'm sorry, are needed elsewhere. I could understand that, right? Because, it looks like they're ramping up they're getting ready to ramp up the violence in the U.S. Though, and then a lot of those people on the Epstein list are the ones financing this crap anyways, right? So, one way or another, if you get them, a lot of this crap goes away. And Lauren says that poor girl drove her car into a wall and died. The Epstein victim. Yeah, are you talking about the Australian lady who was just within the last 2 months? She had said, I'm not going to die. Then she got into a car crash. And then they were saying she committed suicide. Yeah. For Virginia Giuffre, yeah, very, very sad. No justice in this world, oftentimes. And, yeah, Lady Tucker Carlson was talking about this earlier. So weird. Yeah, I just wish they could be honest, right? I know they got a lot on their plates, but I wish they just could be honest. We're holding off. I'm sorry, right? I'm holding off. A lot of people would understand that to some extent, provided that there's hope that at some point, right? Or you bust a lot of these scumbags for some of this other stuff, basically sedition and everything that's going on, that had been going on with these people. And, you get them for those charges, right? That's fine. It could always be brought out that, yeah, they were part of this too, but if we're getting justice in this part, whatever. It's just upsetting. Just, like you know, just to blow it off. You know, because this crap was behind a lot of the garbage that's happening in the States. And I think also in the UK and Europe, because it's all part of the blackmail rings that have been being run, but also causing money to be funneled. We all know that, you know, into their pet projects and their foreign overseas bank accounts. So it's part of the root of all this corruption, right? Carson says he was... I'm sorry, Lady Pip, I didn't understand that. You know, Tucker, you're talking about Carlson, I imagine. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a couple of clips from that person he was talking about. But yeah, talking to today, yeah. Seems to be seems like it's a good interview, right? And I think it's good for Tucker to not always be totally loyal to the president. Just like on Iran, he wasn't. You know, it's good. It's good that somebody's out there. Because it's just as bad. It's just bad for everyone to decide what's wrong, even with this administration. Just like all the people who blindly followed Biden into doing all kind of criminality. Says he... Oh, Carlson said that Epstein was innocent? Wow, I'm gonna have to see that. Wow. Hey, let's see. I still can't believe Stephen Hawking was involved. If not, as if he could physically do anything, is it? It seems like it's important for these people to pervert everything, right? And to pervert everything they can, you know? Get control of these people. There must have been something in physics narrative that they wanted to control. And as messed up as Hawkins was physically, I can't imagine it really mattering to him, right? You know? So, but yeah, everything, academics, everything, it seems like they had to pervert it. Eric Weinstein was, had some good things, because he had met, Jeffrey Epstein, had a meeting, at his New York, fancy New York apartments, and Eric Weinstein says that right away he felt that it was some kind of op being run, because everything just seemed so phony. The setup looked like it was an op, you know. So if you get a chance to see Eric Weinstein, you can find it on the internet. Eric Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, his meeting. So he just came out of that meeting thinking this guy wasn't for real, you know. There was something behind him, and he wasn't real. He was a face for something bad. So he had that feeling. That's what he says, right? So, and the theory of everything, man. Yeah, that's true. You know, he's one of those incredibly intelligent people. So, he has ideas, and no one wants to listen to him because he won't listen to them either. So it kind of goes both ways. But yeah, he has some interesting things to say, right? So Philippine says, Hawking must have had one hell of a personality. Well, I guess he was in some way interested, right? So, you know, I don't know. It's one thing, somebody like that, you know, maybe showing him a naked woman or something, right? But it's another thing, all these healthy people and perverts, that were corrupted, you know, what was definitely, Mossad, CIA, MI6, or MI5, whichever one it is in the UK that would be behind that stuff. those are the people you gotta hate. And the bad thing is now they're saying there was no witness. He was not blackmailing anyone. Oh. Gaslighting. We're being gaslit by the Trump administration, you know? Like I said, in the end, it's the key to a lot of the corruption. Yeah, and then the sad thing all goes back to there's a lot of occult ties and everything that tie in with this crap too. But yeah, the gaslighting is the worst, isn't it? When they look you right in the face, right? No, Jeffrey Epstein had no list. He kept no list. Yeah, thousands of videos. He kept no list. Aren't the videos of the perps and everything? Isn't that a kind of a list, right? So, he had no list. He was blackmailing no one, and then he committed suicide in prison. So, did you see they released that video? Let's see. Let's go. MI5. Thank you for correcting me. Diamond Leaks. Wonderful. I could say it, but I does not say it. So, yeah, I'm already on too many lists as it is. And it looks like I'm not getting off on that. So, MI5. Allison Bartle says, MI6, MI5. Like, MI5 is like in Turtle, right? And then MI6 does the border operations. Is that how it works in the UK? Yeah. Let's see. I'm from the box. It's better to be in the box, because they're gonna put you in one anyways, right? And so they released a video of, was it? I think it was Rikers Island was the prison that Epstein was being kept in. So it's a video showing a camera to a door of another floor, right? It was another floor, and Epstein was kept on the floor below. So it shows a picture of this door, I guess an entrance, right, or whatever, right? And but it doesn't show Epstein's floor, and it doesn't show Epstein's cell. So everyone was like, what the hell? What does this prove? And then it turns out that people looked through it, and then around midnight of that day where Epstein was murdered, let's face it, he was murdered. Screw the gaslighting. On that video, there's a whole minute missing. And apparently the camera angle changes. So just before Epstein's murder, the camera's missing a minute, and they're saying that like Kash Patel and Bongino from a couple weeks, we reviewed the footage, and it shows nothing. It shows a missing minute where probably the murderer came in, was let in. It's so outrageous. It's so outrageous. Oh. Allison Bartle says, yeah, you're right. I thought they all work together, MI5, MI6. Whatever. Yeah. So, Lady Tip, we only know what they allow or want us to know. I know. But the gaslighting is just too much. Oh. And Philippine says, apparently Epstein was only playing a game of charades when he tripped. Yeah, he tripped, and he fell into a paper bedsheet noose, right? Yeah. And it broke his throat in 3 different places. Yeah. Oh yeah, he just didn't slowly strangle. Yeah, he was able to break his neck in 3 different places. Yeah. He was able to simulate with this paper bedsheet. You know what? I guess he had it around his neck, and then he fell off. had it tied to a bedpost. He was able to simulate with that exactly what a person who like the fellow who was once his cellmate, You ever see that monster? Who is it? Who is in prison for suffocating with his own hands, choking a person to death? No, yeah. So Epstein was able to simulate that kind of murder. A guy that was only like a few cell doors away. Again, the camera never caught, right? Because it wasn't working. Epstein was able to simulate that with the paper bed sheet. Yeah, just gaslight us, keep it up. I need that'll be my next song, gaslight us. Right, kinda wanna do a song about this and this, yeah, but just gaslight us. Now the Trump administration is gaslighting us. Oh, now let's see. Lauren says Celebrity Love Island. Diamond links, and there's a mysterious person wearing a hoodie in a prison footage. I didn't watch that total. I saw a snapshot of that. So I'm gonna have to look at the video showing that. But yeah, sounds like he was killed by a demon. Yeah. Sheesh. And Alan says MI5's official address is P.O. Box 3255. However, within the civil service community, the service is collectively known as the Box. Oh, thank you. Wonderful to know that. The Box. Interesting. So as you can see, that's why it's such big news, and of course, in the UK, this means Prince Andrew gets off scot-free, having sex with underage girls multiple times. His bestest of buddies was Epstein because of the sexual services he was providing him in the private island, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the little, I forget what it's called, but yeah. So he also gets off. I'm sure there was other people in the real list, right? And Lauren says Andrew lost all his royal money though in houses, but he's a free man. So I don't know. All I can do is just go shake my head and so oh boy. Oh yeah. I can't stop. I don't normally sigh all the time, but this makes me sigh. Okay, and Allison Bardo says, no, MI5 is known as Box 500. It sounds very mysterious, doesn't it? Box 500. Yeah, we're the ones working behind the scenes to steal all your rights and spy on you and everything internally. Let's see. Bondi needs to be fired. I think at some time, the usher, I think at some time she will be let go when, cause she's a useful idiot. But I think she's doing what Trump wants for right now, right? So when a fall person is needed, then they'll, Trump will get rid of whoever he needs to, and that's pretty much politics, right? So all of them. So that goes for all of them in there. Yeah. But I look like this clip I showed. I look at Trump. That's Trump owning it and saying we're moving on. So shut up about it. Basically, he wants everyone to, but no, not gonna shut up about it. Not gonna shut up, right? So and. Yeah, Ward says he won't sweat about Andrew, but then you already know that, yes. Yeah, I pretty much thought he'd get away with it, right? So, and Philip says, Andrew is a disgusting individual. Yeah, from what I see, yeah, he really, he gives you the creeps. He once ordered his aging butler up 5 flights of stairs just to open his curtains. Yeah, no humanity. Huh? I'm an evil undead vampire, and that disturbs me, right? Though I gotta say, I don't treat my thralls any better. I have an excuse. Yeah. And Lady Tish says it was the Romans that brought us the box. Huh? This sounds interesting. Really. It is from the Romans the word normal comes from. They used to describe a 90% right angle. Huh. I know about building on the square, like being on the square from Masonic terms. But the box comes from the Romans and also being normal, fitting in a box. I know the cult circles being put into a box. That's a big time, like when if you talk about people and being NPCs and brainwashing and stuff, putting people into boxes, classifying them, brainwashing them so they find their own box and restricting themselves, their thoughts and everything. I know that's a big part in some occult circles, but a lot of it has to do with people doing that to themselves because of a steady stream of brainwashing they're getting. So yeah. And House of Barrow, yes, I missed that all. Yeah, in the taste, thanks, Alan. So Alan says, in the Usher, the roles are different. They are simps and deserve to be punished. Yeah, they're not very good people to begin with. Yeah, we just gotta show them a little view of the hell that awaits them for all the evil they've already done. And yeah, they'll do anything we say. Well, like I said, what's the difference between your current government or our current governments and what they do, and if they were all the thralls of evil vampires? What would be the difference, in what they do? Yeah, it would look a lot like what you see, but nobody's listening to me when I say that. It look just like, and it would act just like they do. Yeah. So, Allison, most people are sheep. Yeah, I really think a lot of people are just NPCs. Really do. I seem to explain it so much. And it can also explain that, maybe we're in the simulation and all that. And, because you can really, if you're in a conversation with somebody and you throw them a curveball they don't expect, it's weird what comes over so many different people who come over them, and how blind they are to different things. And I remember I was in public. I was out in public, which is dangerous for me, as you can imagine. So I was talking to this Australian fellow, and he was with his daughter. And out of the blue, for no reason, he starts talking to me about how awful it is, like American news and Fox News and all that, and then he goes into how proud he was up with Australian news. They didn't have any of this private news stuff telling you what to think. And I go, but your Australian news is state controlled. Isn't that called propaganda? State sponsored propaganda? And then he literally eyes bugged out like that and literally ran away from me with his brainwashed daughter. It was like, you never thought of that. I was just what? I was just laughing to think that either system is any better than the other, but you got state-funded media, and you don't know what that is? It's propaganda. Right? He just shut up. He just shut up. Eyes went big. Yeah, that compute. That compute. And don't get me wrong. I think our news media is bought and paid for by the ones running the government. So I wasn't saying one's better than the other, but to be so blind is amazing. It really is amazing. And okay. Oh, there's another story in the U.S. Kind of interesting, and it might have something to do with the Epstein stuff, right? But let's see. In Texas, and it's kind of weird. Let's see. I'll put this up. I'm hearing that there may be two cases, and they're kind of getting mixed together. I'm not too sure. Philip says, how do you get my news from smoke signals now? D, are you sure who's on the other end of those smoke signals, Philip? Are you sure that it isn't some glowy? That it's actually a glowy who took over and is on the other end, some FBI glowy? Or MI5 glowy on the other end of your smoke signals? Blowing smoke up your butt? Literally? It's all glowies.
We're here to tell you that.
Well, so this is Texas. So, there was this case outside an ICE facility where supposedly there was these Antifa, like 10 or 11 of them, laying in ambush. They all had their rifles, and I don't use the assault rifles. BS. It's, an AR is just a .22 rifle, semi-automatic, and we got hundreds in this country that we sell that don't look like AR, and they can do the same damage to you. But it's a high-powered .22 rifle, so they had their rifles with them. I imagine maybe some had handguns, but they were supposedly laying in ambush for these ICE agents, right? Yeah, these federal ICE agents, immigration agents in the U.S. outside this Texas ICE facility. And I'm kind of confused. There might be two cases, but in one case, they opened fire on the ICE agents. And of course, being Antifa, they're not good shots, right? And in one case, the ICE agents fired back and killed one of them. And then all the other 10 fled. Well, they went ahead and they arrested the other 10 of them, and I guess they're also looking for other people who were in part of the planning, but it looks like it was an actual ambush. And so I'll play this.
Night on July 4th, Friday night at approximately
July 4th,
10:37 p.m. at the Prairieland ICE Detention Center in Alvarado, Texas, 10 to 12 individuals dressed in black military-style clothing, began shooting fireworks and engaging in acts of vandalism at the facility. And this was part of an organized attack. Today, my office has charged 10 individuals with 3 counts of attempted murder of a federal officer. Each of the 10 are also charged with 3 counts of discharging a firearm in relation to a crime of violence. Each of these defendants faces a mandatory prison term of 10 years and up to life in prison. An additional co-conspirator was charged with obstruction of justice and conspiracy for attempting to conceal and destroy evidence in relation to the attack, and he faces up to 10 years in prison. Let's discuss the incident. It was a planned ambush with the intent to kill ICE corrections officers. Make no mistake, this was not a so-called peaceful protest. It was indeed an ambush.
So, isn't that just crazy? And I heard there may have been another incident similar to this too. But I might be confusing this. So there's a little bit of confusion going on right now. And, here, I'll show you the picture. Let's see. So, this is a picture of the ones they arrested. Here, let me make this a little small, so we can see each loser individually. Big tough Antifa losers. Here, I'll go away here for a second. Doink. Yeah. Wow, these incredible revolutionaries. Wow. Yeah, it's really crazy how insane the women on the left are. You see how many of these are women, going to become big tough revolutionaries, aren't they? Yeah. Oh boy. So let's see. I count 10, and I don't see a single winner in the whole group. Let's see. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 females and 3 soy boys. What do you think? Soy boys, right? Here, I'm covering up the soy boys. Or he, she's, like this one here on the bottom. He, she, I don't know. Oh, poor soy boys, being led by liberal women. We've been the shit. Oh, damn. And Philip says, I only get my news from Smoke Sig. Okay, that's right. I read that already. And Allison says, 50% of people have no inner monologue. Yeah, I think it's at least 50%. I think that's the best sign for an NPC. Because that's amazing, right? And that's why the news media mainstream media is so effective on these people. It's incoming new program. I must hate Trump. I must destroy anyone who's conservative is a Nazi. I must say that word instead. You still get in trouble on YouTube just for saying what the words they say. And Philip says, big cheap with the planes. Are you sure, Philip? It's not some glowy on the other end. Yeah, that smoke signal. He says he's the big chief, but maybe big chief got compromised. Yeah, it says, I think they needed them. And the Asher says, are we sure they're women? I don't want to look and find. Oh no, who knows? Oh no. I want to think about it. The 2 lower electric guys, yeah, we think so. Soy boys are trans. What difference is it? Way too much soy in the far west. Way too much. I think it screws us females up too. If you get too much soy, everything's like in the U.S. so processed and everything. And a lot of the processed food has soy in it. So yeah, way too much food. Yeah, and then if I'm gonna have a meal here, their blood is full of soy. Yeah. Oh, they're not attractive anyways for a meal. I tell you, because And the Asher says, now to drop the testosterone in that lineup. No, it's what we think are females, and yeah, they have more testosterone than the males. If they're males, right? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So, and Lady Tip says 2020 showed us how easy it is for the media to control. Indeed. And it's been going on forever. Way before the internet. All the news media all told you the same stuff. They would pretend they were conservative or they were liberal in your coverage, but strangely they all told you the same exact things, and then there was so much more going on in the world that they didn't tell you about. So it's always been controlled, it's always been fake and gay. Like in the US, no one buys a news media outlet to tell you the news. They buy it to control the narrative, to get what they want, especially from the government. It's always been about that. It always has. So, yeah. So, well, let's see. Oh, so that was that. And you had to laugh at these guys because, oh boy. But, with a gun, they get off the right shot. They could definitely hurt you. So, yeah. Let's see. And, okay. We had, I'm not going to put it up here, but we had another thing, one more thing in the US, and we'll get on to what I had for the UK. We had something where they're basically, I don't know, I guess confiscating, but they're going to take back land from the Chinese. I don't know what that means exactly. Unless they're farmland. They take back, US farmland from Chinese and companies and Chinese shell companies. So if it's in the name of a U.S. citizen, but it turns out it was Chinese are backing this person. So what exactly that means, I don't know. So, are they confiscating it and turning it over to the states or the local, or are they going to auction it off? That would be the best. But how do you let another Chinese shell company buy it up? And let's see, let's go over to the UK. And I'm going to need your help on some of this, especially the post office. Because that story is, so horrible. So, I saw this. Let's see, is that showing up now? Does this have no sound? This is supposed to be 3 Ukrainian men, or it didn't make any sense to me, but it was supposed to be 3 men guilty of arson in London warehouse and linked with the Ukraine on behalf of Russian mercenary group Wagner. Anybody got any word on that? It sounds like a bunch of BS, right? Was it actually Ukrainians doing the fire? Or is this just some kind of BS to try to stir people up? What do you think? And the usher says, gotta go, peace out, fella. Well, thank you, the usher, for joining us. It's wonderful having you here. You always make such wonderful comments and everything. So, bye. So, does anyone have anything to say about, do they know anything about this? Because I don't. I just caught this off of some UK news, and it seems like, just heard a headline, a bunch of BS, but it was a real fire, apparently. See, are those Ukraine arson hustlers back trying? I know, wondering about that, but they're trying to blame the Russians themselves on it. And so I saw the story headline, and Ukraine, but then it's the Russians, so what the hell is going on actually, right? Yeah. And Alan says, not sure on that one. So, okay, I don't know either. So let's go on to the next one. And this is just awful. I've been reading a little bit about it. Oh, it's not showing up, so, okay, I can't put it on, I'll just read it. So, I'm gonna need you to help me with it, though, to understand it totally. It says, there's just been a report. So, my understanding, it goes back to the 90s, doesn't it? You tell me. There was, a software program that the U.S. Postal Service, the Royal Mail, licensed from, what's the name? It's a Japanese company, Buka Shika or something. I forget. Maybe I have it written down here. I'll look. But and it was supposed to catch criminal activity, like theft and stuff. But it was horribly, completely faulty written program, and it basically made up crimes that weren't real crimes, and there was apparently like maybe let's see, let me read what I had here. At least 13 people. So this is the new report, or part of it. At least 13 people may have taken their own lives, linked to the post office scandal. Public inquiry finds. So, the first volume of the Post Office Horizon IT Inquiry report focuses on what Sir Win Williams calls the disastrous impact of false accusations made against at least 1,000 postmasters working in the Royal Mail in the UK. And let's see, and at least 13 people may have taken their own lives after being accused of wrongdoing. Yeah, Fujitsu, okay. Based on evidence from the Horizon IT system that the post office and developers, Fujitsu, that's a big Japanese corporation, knew could be false. The public inquiry has found. And so they had this faulty software system installed, supposedly to catch theft, but they apparently knew it had faults, right? It seems to be what I'm hearing. They knew it had faults to it, and over 1,000 people were accused of being criminals, theft, postmasters working for the Royal Post Office Service, and they just ruined these people's lives. So, they had divorces over what happened, and they were just railroaded with this faulty software as criminals, given sentences of theft and had to repay back monies that they didn't steal. And yeah, so what was the date? Does this go back to the 90s? Can somebody tell me roughly when this started, when they started using the system? Fujitsu, yeah, Ellen says. And Lady Cuff says, that was so bad, yeah. And Cynthia, hi Cynthia, my queen. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Cynthia's just wonderful. If you could follow her on X, she's just a lovely person. And let's see, Lady Cuff says, and a lot of the postmasters are still waiting to be compensated. Yeah, I thought I saw something about that. Yeah, they haven't even, that hasn't even been done. But they destroyed these people's lives. Being made into a criminal when you're not a criminal, false accusations and false convictions is horrible. It's just horrible. It's one of the worst things the system can do. And they're talking over 1,000 people. And Alice says, at the end of the day, transactions gave a false total. Yeah, so they would do a daily business, and then the system would say, there's this much missing. But it didn't compute the transactions properly. It was just totally crap. Total crap system, and no one thought to check, to run checks. That goes into the Royal Mail, not, to start seeing this popping up all the time, and then not to do a check on the systems themselves, having people go in as auditors and run this system and see that it was false. I mean, we're talking massive negligence and criminal negligence. Disgusting that this happened, and it was allowed to happen, and that they prosecuted all these people. Warren says, they are treading water now to stop proper compensations from 10 years ago. So, and Alan says 1995, so yeah. And then, does anyone have an idea when they stopped using it? So, was it close to a decade or so? They kept using this? Went on and Philip says the post office scandal went on for about 20 years. everybody, like I said, the criminal negligence of the Royal Mail not auditing the damn system. They're all covering their asses. Of course, that's always what happened. They're covering their asses. Because they were criminally a case sounds like a case could easily have been made about their criminal negligence. Yeah. With all these people coming up, you don't suspect for a minute that there might be a problem. We should test the system and be sure. Or before reinstalling the damn system, you make damn sure you run like a fake post office and run transactions and see what the damn system says. Again, that's criminal negligence. Not testing it properly either. So they then cover their own asses. And these people's lives are destroyed. So you can only be angry. You have to be angry. You have to be disgusted by this crap. Because that's what it ends up being. Right, so. And Philip says a poor innocent postmistress gave birth in prison. Warren says it's a corporate and human rights two-tier British class system now, yucky country. It's so sad. It really is. And Philip says only last year they stopped using the system. Holy crap. So that's almost 30 years to this 1995. Oh, wow. And Alan says it was kept quiet for a long time. So, yeah, I only started hearing about it and reading about it last year. And then all the different people, I wasn't guilty. I tried to plead that I wasn't guilty in the sense, and they just found me guilty anyways. It's like they had. It's like the system was going to, no matter what these people said, was just gonna railroad them. It sounds like they were just gonna railroad these people. Because it seems like a good defense would be, though you have to have money. That's what happens in the state. You gotta have money, to get lawyers that are going to, work hard on your case to question like the system itself and everything. So yeah, it's tough, I know this didn't happen in the US, but and that's the same in the UK. You just get basic coverage. No one's gonna question it, and then even if you're innocent, you might be forced to take a plea deal because you don't have the money. To get really good lawyers. And then if the system's gonna run you through anyways, no matter what kind of money you're gonna spend, you're guilty, Yeah. And you'll be found guilty. Where the system's totally corrupt. So, it's so disturbing, so sad, really is. And let's see, I don't think Lydia says every village and town had their own post office. And now they are all disappearing. Cashless system everywhere now. Well, yeah, you notice how expensive postage is, right? Okay, in my understanding, shipping to the UK from the US is so very expensive. So, yeah, the whole system, everything breaks down. Probably because there's so many layers of people who don't actually work, but they're, management, upper management, that, and then you have to pay their retirement and everything else. And that's kind of like in the US, one of the reasons why it's so inefficient. They have nepotism, it's one of the few things in the U.S. where at least they used to, if you want to get a postal service job, I don't know if it's still the same, but it used to be one of the things that got you a position, and they asked you, are there other people being employed that are family members? And that was a positive, nepotism. But yeah, you used to be able to get a job at, they're doing a lot of contractors now to try to cut down the costs. But those who are postal employees, you could be right out of high school, get the job, and then retire and start getting retirement benefits right after 20 years for the rest of your life. So that's the huge part in the U.S. is all of the few workers to retiree rate is astronomical. So I can imagine maybe in the UK something similar also, but I don't know. But in the U.S., that's why it's basically the post office basically subsidized in the U.S. because they're way in the hole. And though I gotta say one thing, the post office is constitutional. At least it's one thing that is constitutional in the U.S. Because that was always important, especially back in the days. But just totally inefficient and totally bloated, of course. So yeah, let's see. And yeah, and Alan says post office has many functions for pensioners. Okay. And so yeah, so if you're remote, it gets harder and harder. If you're closing down the offices, Alan, is what you're saying? Yeah, for those people. And Lauren says a lot of Britons stop working. They paid off their mortgages and get I imagine you're saying like public benefits tip for long. Oh, okay, yeah. For long COVID. Wow, the kids also get hit for anxiety after college finishes. Yeah, that's true in the States here. A lot of able-bodied people are on disability and they're encouraged because what you're on those benefits, who are you gonna vote for, right? So it's encouraged. So if you have no shame with you don't have a morality too, then why not, right? If you're of that mindset. But it just becomes ever growing burden. We're, like in the States, where Social Security, even though it is the biggest thing on the budget, that's totally different. They did pay into it. That was the system they paid up. Though obviously people are living a lot longer. It's the fraud though. And I'm sure even after Doge going through it here in the States, there's still massive fraud, I'm sure, still taking place. But especially if illegals are receiving Social Security benefits. But yeah, that's totally different from the health scams that we got on. People getting on benefits for anxiety and crap like that, or the trans stuff. Just, and part of those people obviously are mentally ill though, but it just becomes a scam. Able-bodied people being on it, and then we have illegals being on it. Yeah. So I can only imagine how bad it is in the UK, because no one's even questioning it, are they, in the UK at the moment? So yeah. Let's see, do I have anything else? I think that's about it for what I had today. So, if anyone wants to bring anything else up, that would be a good time. So anything happened in the UK or something in the US that people are now noticing is happening that I haven't covered, let me know. Or if you'd like to make a comment or two, please do. So, but I've been taking notes. Yeah, I've been busy taking notes. So, no, Alan says no. Good job, Bella. Yeah, shut up, Bella. Yeah. Yo, thanks, Alan. Alan's wonderful. Alan's been checking out a lot of the AI programs and everything, and he's now making some music videos, and he showed me one today that looked really good. The only problem was the lip sync, but it is so close. I can't wait. So I got a feeling that Alan's going to be showing me some things that he's found that are better than what I can use at the moment. So I'm really excited. And yeah, that looked really good, Alan, today. I really enjoyed seeing that. And yeah, he's using what? Leonardo for images. He's using Kling for making AI videos with those AI images. And then he's using CapCut, which is a little bit rough right now for lip syncing. But oh boy, when everything is just right, it's gonna be wonderful. I don't know, you know, as you can tell, I love it. You know, I can't show my face on camera because you wouldn't see me. I'd just be an empty seat talking to you. Or you have to see my solution to it, which is really, oh no, you don't want to see that. It involves like a skin mask. Yeah, talk about a total horror film. Yeah, you don't want to see that at all. So yeah, it's wonderful seeing people getting ideas and trying on their own, because you never know what's going to come out of it, you know. And Lady Tip says, oh, okay. Warren says UK is quite an old country for population. Yeah, hey, not breeding, so you're gonna age out. Yeah, and wrestling culture is unsure, so basically it's become a country for immigrants. Yeah, your new masters, Warren. So the new masters, and they're breeding. So even though a lot of times it isn't legally, right? Yeah. So yeah. And Lady Tip says, all quiet here. But Warren says, I will make a sequel to Don Henley's Boys of Summer soon. Okay, just watch out. Trying if you're using like the song itself, like on YouTube and stuff. Like I have to be careful. I can't play. You have to be careful of copyright written stuff all the time. So be careful of that where you play it. A lot of times, X a lot of times is really good. You know, they don't really go after you, you know. Especially, you know, if you're changing the lyrics and it's obviously a parody. YouTube though, yeah, you can't even parody things too well. So let's see. I'll be interested to see it, Wards. So, Philip says, another splendid show, my dearest Belladonna. I'm buying some merchandise from you next. Oh, that's very kind of you, Philip. And if you want to become one of my thralls, look into a membership. So, just wonderful. I'll send you a certificate, depending on which level of membership you get. So, and you also get to see all my videos first. And if I have some ideas or something, I'll make a video asking you questions to try to help me. And my DMs are open. So even if you're not a member, my DMs are open. So feel free, right? You know, as long as you're not sending me something perverted. But I don't mind. I like your ideas because I don't have too many of my own. So Warren says, I do the song a lot in karaoke. I do love that song. That is a lovely song. The Boys of Summer. Yeah, it's very nostalgic, isn't it? Yeah. And just great lyrics, and the singing's wonderful. Let's see. Great dreams. This better than Christy Mayer playing cheap games with a podcast friend. Oh, yeah, Christy Mayer, isn't she a comedian? She's fairly funny if I'm thinking of the right person. I don't know. I don't watch too many podcasts. So occasionally a Joe Rogan podcast or so. And so I had a copyright snagged me by the BBC. They need the money, don't they? They need the money. All goes to their stupid propaganda, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do know who she is. Yeah. And she had a kid recently? Yeah, she, I had seen some of her, stuff just not recently. And she does seem to be a very funny lady. So, more power to her. right? And YouTube is the place, isn't it, for many people? Because I can't imagine comedy clubs are very much fun anymore. Also, so many people are such homebodies nowadays, right? So, yeah, she's funny conservative redhead. Okay, yeah, I know who she is. So, okay, well, thank you once again. I didn't pick a song to play you out on, so I guess we'll just end it, but thank you for joining me. It's wonderful, chatting with you, daily like these streams. And like I said, please, if you have some ideas, let me know. If you have news stories for me, because a lot of times in the UK, I don't understand what's going on, but I don't mind bringing them up and then have you, tell me, about them. So, have a wonderful, wonderful evening, everyone. So,